Hello, beautiful Ascension family, and welcome back. This is your girl Ace, and I am back. I want to do a different type of video today. Just simply my experience in being someone who has read and reads for hundreds of people all the time, over and over again. These are the things that I've found. So let's get started. I am going to use a few cards from my Alana Fairchild, Rosali, and Richard Cohen Journey of Love deck, because I've picked these three cards because I feel like they represent what we're going to speak about today. So let's get started on soulmates. And I want to talk about soulmate first. Now, again, like I said, no statistically, fact things in this reading. No one quote me. No one, you know, make, don't want anybody to feel like, I scientifically have, discovered or have a reason to go write a book. That is not what we're here for, right? I just want to give because I feel like someone needs it. And for someone, they need to understand the difference of why you may think you've met your soulmate, but now you're heartbroken because it didn't work out. And people are like, but that was my soulmate and I don't understand. And so, yeah. But let me tell you what the trend that I have seen with soulmates. Okay. Now, do you have some amazing outcomes where people actually end up with their soulmate? You do. The likelihood of it, right? Let's talk about the truth and likelihood of it. 20%. Actually, I'm going to go even less than say 15%. And here's why. Okay, let's talk about here's why. Soulmate, just for the moment joy. I feel like this card here represents it because, so the joy that is exuding from this beautiful being in this card is absolutely amazing. That is what the soulmate connection feels like. It is absolutely amazing. It is warm. It is fuzzy. It is, I have never met anybody like this. This is, I don't know why I know this person and have this person in my life or why this came about. So on the soulmate journey, you were supposed to meet them. It's one of the reasons why I believe they're referred to as a soulmate. Okay. They are part of your soul contract. They are part of your soul journey. They are part of the reason why they were meant at some point in purpose to be a part of your life. And typically it is not ironic that the timing that they came in was when you needed them to come in. You met them for a purpose. Soulmates are the connections, you can't describe it at all. It is hot and heavy. So it usually starts very, very hot and heavy. The attraction between the two of you is insane. Literally, so attracted to them, could probably rip their clothes off and just go at them where it stands. Okay. So it's a very, very hot and heavy. They give me joy. They give me, what I feel is purpose for life, a zeal, a reason for going. Like, it is amazing. It goes on for a usually short amount of time. When I say short, the average I see for the soulmate encounter, and I'm going to call it that, the soulmate encounter, is usually somewhere between 3 months to 1 year. Okay. Now, those are the great things about the soulmate journey. The harsh things, unfortunately, about the soulmate journey is it typically has two ways of ending, and the way it ends has a purpose. It's usually hurtful. And that's hard to say, but it's hurtful. Okay. It hurts the person that has to get a lesson from it. So those are the two things that are about it that are just kind of, the sad parts. It is a lesson involved of it. And usually the lesson is for the person that gets hurt in it. Those are sad. And I know I probably just totally just threw a whole Cupid's arrow through somebody's soul at that moment because someone has just met their soulmate and they're like, this is amazing. And it is soul shaking and great, hot, heavy, beautiful. They give you all this warmth and joy. Yes, that is what I typically see in the soulmate journey. They're meant to be there. They come along, but their purpose isn't without purpose, right? It is to create comfort and change. Comfort and change. Comfort for you for whatever you were going through at that moment. You may have lost a job. You may have lost a family member. You may have lost, honestly, all of the above, right? You may be going through a time that is a grieving portion in your life where you are having to grieve something else that really had you down in the dumps. It had you depressed. It had you in a space that just was not where you wanted to be. And this person came in, and that connection was so joyous and so beautiful and so amazing that it took you away from that. That was the purpose of this person coming in. They were supposed to come in and be sort of a comfort, and even maybe in some people, the point, the climax to where you begin the healing here. Okay, so they have a purpose, they have a reason. It's all enjoy. However, it ends in hurt because this was supposed to bring you to a space where it's a catalyst. And so it being a catalyst, it's supposed to bring you, get you over it, make you move forward. And as it does that, it does what it's supposed to do, but it's not supposed to last forever. Okay. 20%, 15%, 15 to 20 is what I'm going to say are the ones that actually get to live out their beautiful lives with their soulmate, have children, move on, be great. But usually there is a lesson in the soulmate journey. And it's sometimes, almost always, that I have seen ends in hurt, but rainbow, right? As the rain comes, as there's a storm, there is a rainbow usually after it. So you do move on, and you do move on to better love, one that typically ends up being more long term, and one that a lot of times the soulmate journey is trying to prepare you. They either want you to see those red flags and red signs so you don't, make that same choice again, but it was meant. They were meant to be a part of your journey, and they will always be a part of your heart. And you will always be able to say that they loved you in a different way than anyone ever has. And that no matter how much it hurt you, you can look back and say, no, that we were soul connected. They were part of who I was supposed to at the time. I hated it didn't work out, but no love lost, because the soulmate journey is trying to prepare you. They either want you to see those red flags and red signs so you don't, make that same choice again, but it was meant. They were meant to be a part of your journey, and they will always be a part of your heart. And you will always be able to say that they loved you in a different way than anyone ever has. And that no matter how much it hurt you, you can look back and say, no, that we were soul connected. They were part of who I was supposed to at the time. I hated it didn't work out, but no love lost, because the love I know was real. So just for a moment, the joy. Enjoy that soulmate as it came, as it lasted. You'll always look back on that and remember it for what it was, but they were not meant to be your future. So that is the soulmate. Now, let's talk about karmic partnerships, shall we? Okay. We'll take a minute, inhale and exhale and breathe it out, because karmic relationships and partnerships and situationships, because I'm going to call it all three, is a lot. Because unfortunately, fortunately, the karmic relationship is the one that you most likely will end up have, and it can be a lot longer. Okay. So karmics. I picked two cards here for the karmic because our first one is going to be Heartfire, because that's exactly how the karmic relationship starts. It is also Heartfire, heart of the moment. Okay. And both of those, just really the beauty in these, the ignition, the way it burst out, the red around it, how deep it is, all of these things, heart of the moment, the heart, the galaxy, it elevates you. This starts off, again, another one that starts off very hot and very heavy. Okay. Attraction, fire, insane. A lot of times with a karmic relationship, it will also be a fire sign that you are attracted to. Sometimes two fire signs together. Okay. But it tends to be a lot of heart energy. Hot and heavy, insane attraction, end up being a relationship. And usually one or the other person holds on to it. So this can span from 2 years to 5 years. Okay. But let me tell you how you can identify a karmic partnership or relationship. When it is over, it is over. When it's done, honey, it is done. It's done, 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 done. Like it's done. Like I hear spirit, I hear spirit kind of in my ear. There was this game show I think, and she'd go, "Is that your final answer?" And so that right there, like that's exactly what I feel like when I hear karmic relationship. It's like you think this is your it person. You think you're gonna like, oh, okay, this is great. It feels good. But there's always something with that karmic partnership that you just can't put your finger on. But as much as you want that to be like your everything person, you're in a relationship, you're in a situationship, you're together, but you're like, they're not it. And you don't know why, because everything's great and it's playing out great because you both, not one of you, but both of you are meant to take something from this relationship. There is a lesson in this for both hearts, right? Don't know what that is. Maybe it takes the full 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get there and figure out what that is. But when it's over, it is over. And then you will know and understand why it happened. The hindsight in almost all three is 2020. Okay. You'll know. You'll know. And you can't hold on to it. It becomes frustrating. It becomes more of a situationship because it's like no, neither one of us are engaged. We've both disconnected. It's almost like you organically dissolve and grow apart. And nothing you can do will put it back together. It is literally trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And it's like, I want to solve it. Let's fix it. Let's go to counseling. Let's do whatever. You can do whatever you want to do. But when a karmic is done, it is done because you've both learned your lessons and it's time to go your separate ways. And almost always with a karmic, you can be with that person for years. And you're like, oh, we'll always be friends. We'll always be that. Mm-mm. It dissolves, and when it's done, and you no longer speak and have absolutely no contact with that person and don't even care to. That is the real about karmics. Now, here's the other thing I will say about a karmic relationship. Sometimes a karmic is literally you guys had something in a past life. It didn't get finished, it got missed somehow, and so it was meant to kind of spill over into this one. And I say that for whatever you believe as, life and higher powers. But it may have been in a past life. It didn't get finished. You got to come in. This one, it's finished, but it necessarily was not meant to, they weren't meant to be your person, but it has to finish itself in some way. And so it does. But it's almost always with karmics, both people have a lesson in it. You're both meant to learn something. You take it, it dissolves, and then you go your separate ways. So that's a karmic. Do you know it's a karmic in the beginning? Never. Almost never will you know it's a karmic. But it ends up being another relationship that you don't learn from until the end. So those are the things that I can say has been the trending things that I've seen, reading after reading, relationship after relationship, healing after healing with the karmic partnerships. And it's fairly easier to get past a karmic because the attachment that you have with a soulmate, the attachment that you have with a twin flame is not there, which is why it becomes so easy to no longer speak to that person or have no contact when you move forward. And it's like, you don't dismiss it. You appreciate the years that you spent together. It served its purpose. You learn whatever it is you're supposed to learn from it, and then you move on. So I won't spend too much time on karmics because it definitely is what it is, right? It comes, it happens, you experience, you feel it for what it is, and then you're able to move past it. But it does span usually between 2 and 4 years. So it's a lot longer of the term, whereas soulmates are a lot more shorter term. Typically 3 to 6 months is what I see for the soulmate because they're supposed to show up, give you the comfort, leave you, and then go. And so but you can have soulmate relationships that actually go on much longer. It's just understand the percentage of those happening is not as widespread as sometimes watching a reading would make you think, and I'm going to be real about it. I am a reader, and being somebody who reads for people, on a regular basis, I try with my clients, I try to let them know and say, hey, you know, I'm picking up soulmate for this. I want you to know that on my take and my version of this, in how the soulmate ends, because I don't like them to just assume that because this is your soulmate person, that you're going to be with this person forever and you're going to marry them and you're going to be together and it's going to be your husband or your wife. And I say that to say, because I do think the misconception is out there that people think that when they meet their soulmate, that, oh my God, I'm supposed to live out the rest of my life with this person. And a lot of people put energy and a lot of their energy into trying to do that. When, from what I have seen, right, I don't know that people are always supposed to be with their soulmates, because they're supposed to come in and make a difference and make the difference. And yes, a lot of times that's in hurt, for whatever reason, but it's not to be held on to, and it's not to be your forever person. So, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. A lot of people are not going to have the same view that I have on that. And I totally understand that. Like I said, take what resonates for you and throw the rest away. But this is just what I've seen. So let's talk about twin flame. I also want to take a second and just, guys, the back of this card is absolutely gorgeous. Okay. It has the hearts, it has the intertwining, and I love it. And the reason why I wanted to point this out is because when I usually see relationships, I see them on this weird kind of little timeline thing, where they kind of, relationships will, I can see people, coming back together with a loop that intertwines, or it'll stop and connect like this. And then I'll go, oh, you guys are not going to get back together. So sorry, you guys, I can't talk. It's kind of early here, but I say that to say, this kind of, the deck really reflects what I feel the love journey looks like in a lot of ways. So I kind of wanted to just want you guys to see how beautiful that card is on the other side. Yin Yang Lover. This card is every representation of the twin flame journey that I can think of. Okay. The beauty here, the yin and yang, the opposites attract. Okay. So let's start there with the twin flames. Okay. Opposites. Usually, the twin flames are in some way, you guys are very much alike. You may share the same beliefs, you may share the same desires, but you're usually very opposite in what you like. Now, twin flames, it may start usually as a friendship. Okay. Sometimes it does start as a relationship, but if it is a relationship, it's a very short-lived relationship that flows over. I'm going to say flows over into a friendship of some sort, because this person is also meant to be a part of your life. Okay. They're meant to be a part of your life. You may be, attracted to each other, and either that attraction is spoken or not spoken right away. Okay. But it evolves, whether it goes into a short-term relationship that lasts, you date multiple times. Somehow, maybe this person, you dated the person, then they went away. Then at that point, they came. I usually see the twin as a reflection. So your sun sign, I'm a Cancer, so I'm just going to use Cancer as an example. Sun sign may be Cancer, but I am a Aries moon and a Scorpio rising. So my twin flame most likely is an Aries or a Scorpio. Okay. They're going to reflect the things in you that you don't typically gravitate towards. And they probably can push your hot buttons quicker than anybody else. Reflection. There's a part of you that identifies with them in so many ways as a mirror that you can't deny that they're your mirror. And so that makes them very different and very special, which is also what makes this chase very special. And it also makes your interactions very special as well. I'm going to be real, y'all. For a lot of people, this person is that person that I say, no matter who you're in a relationship with, if they call, I'm going to answer the phone, because you have a connection with them that is very intertwined. It is even though it's like you want to know this person is okay, even if you haven't spoken years, right? It's kind of the, I don't even know where they are in their lives. I'm hoping they're okay. You just kind of silently pray for them, or every few years or so, they'll cross your mind and you're like, I hope that person's okay. I hope they're at peace. I hope they're good. Um, they typically will return. Even if you go multiple years without speaking, at some point, they typically will try to return. Don't say that you need to entertain that depending on where you are in your current relationship in life, but for a lot of ways. Now, here's the other thing about twin flames. At some point, you're either going to bridge together where you actually play out this friendship and it flows over into the rest of your life, or you will be forced to completely cut it off. Harsh again, right? But almost always, and I will stand on this, I will stand on it, I will stand on it, I will stand on it. As a reader, as a healer, as all of the gifting that I have been given and I'm thankful and grateful for, you almost always do not end up with a twin flame. Okay. Now, there's usually a purpose, okay, to the journeys of all of these relationships, soulmates, karmics. The twin flame journey, I will be absolutely positively truthful about, y'all. I have not figured out why this exists. I do not know why. So those that end up with their twin flame, the purpose is for them to live it out together, make changes together, heal other people together, serve your purpose together. I am blessed to have a friend who actually is married to her twin flame. It took 11 years. Funny how the 11, right? 11 years of the chase. They went back and forth. Finally, were able to solidify themselves together, and they actually own a nonprofit now. Okay. And that was a purpose. The purpose of them and the chase was to serve it out together. And they also, for the twin flame journey, you go on this chase and this back and forth, and one is in the spiritual journey ahead of the other, because if you do ever bring that loop full circle back together, you both have to be in a very healed place to do it. Okay. And you can't do that unless you go through the love journey. So, saying all that to say, although it is a very small chance, y'all, a very, very small chance. Yes, I said y'all. That's the privilege of living in Texas. But the very small chance of you ending up with your twin flame is slim to none. Okay. And I don't know the purpose of the twin flame for us that have had to disconnect or had to, move on from it in some way. They played a purpose for the years that they were a part of that. You're part of that journey. They taught you many things. I feel, and I'm just going to give you my take on my experience for what mine was, and what I see is the trend for a few other relationships that I counsel for and read for and spiritually advise for. I think it is to set the precedence of what it is that you want and need in that partner that is your forever partner. And so you can honestly set certain boundaries, because my twin flame journey, although I was the one that had to maybe like cut that, chop that, because there was very dysfunctional patterns in that I probably didn't recognize right away. But it spanned over many years, and 10, and I'll be exact, because I feel like 10 is when things come full circle. The numbers mean something, y'all. So, it was a 10-year kind of back and forth kind of thing. But I say that to say, because had I had not experienced some of the things that I experienced on the twin flame journey, I would not appreciate my wife, y'all. I would not appreciate who I married and why, and the things that that needed to be boundaries in my relationships with just people in general, not just in an intimate relationship, not just in a marriage, but it taught me so much. So they do, twin flames do have their purposes, but for everybody, I also see that purpose is different. So I won't just say, that I don't know any of the purpose of the twin flame journey. I feel like it's different for everybody. You will figure out if it serves you or not serves you and why it was. But typically it's not until you no longer have communication and you guys have kind of went your ways or moved on or, severed, or and sometimes you don't know that because it's still in progress. So if you're kind of like, oh, you're resonating with this and you're like, there was a friendship and yes, there was a chase and yes, we did date. Yes, they are my mirror, and they're, they do pop back up here and there and you can't find a reason to why it is. It's maybe because it's still in progress. You may still at some point, have that come back, and then have to revisit it again. That is the thing about the twin flame journey is they continuously return. So again, where hindsight is 2020, it's a connection that will always be there. You will always, have a good feeling towards them. You want to know they're okay. For whatever reason it transpired, no matter how negative or positive the interaction was between the two of you, it meant what it meant or what it does mean, right? And you always want what's best for that person. You don't leave it or stay in it with any type of ill will or malice feeling or hatred, which I would hope, you're always sending healing to the cords of whoever it is. Doesn't matter if it's a soulmate, a karmic, or a twin flame. Depending on where you are in the birth chart, sometimes we want to just be like, woo, I don't wish that person no ill will, but I want to be around to see them get their karma. But with the twin flame journey, you don't tend to feel that way. You just like, okay, it was what it was. It is what it is. Man, that was many years of my life that I spent involved there. But then you evolve from there, right? So where you go from involved, you go to evolved, right? So, my hope in this is that it helps somebody just have a little more of an understanding and an expectation when it comes to when you're watching something and you're still, because here I am, y'all, being the emotional Cancer. Okay. But I'm saying this because when you're out there and you are trying to find a reason, you hear the tears in my voice, y'all. I'm not going to hide it because it's who I am. But when you are still trying to find a reason to believe in love and you've been given every reason not to, it is hard out there, okay? It is hard to still feel like your person is there and they are waiting for you, or like there are a lot of people right now who are watching this because they want to know the difference, because you feel like there's somebody out there. You want to believe in it, but everything you have gotten, relationship, situationship after relationship, has failed you, and you believe that your person no longer exists. This reading is for you. This form. Y'all, I'm so sorry. Give me a second. Whew, but this form of understanding is for you to have hope. Okay. If I can give hope to one person out there watching this to let you know that love still exists for you, I don't want you to put too much energy. We don't care if they're soulmate. We don't care who's karmic. We don't care who's your twin flame. The experiences are experiences for a reason. And every single one of those, whether it's soulmate, karmic, or twin flame, it is on your love journey for a reason. Okay? Whatever that is. I don't care what placement they play in it for you. It's for a reason. So I say all this to say, you guys, I hope that this helps at least just one person, because your person is out there. Patience in the process is what you have to have. And understand that no matter where you are in it, don't give up. There's love in this for you. I hope this helps one person today. Thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed. Thank you. That's all I can say is we are grateful. We are thankful. And I hope you all continue to watch. So love and light to you. And I will see you all in the next one. Blessings.